Hello and welcome back to Sweet Tea, where there isn't really drama, it's just cute and fun. This is something I got tagged in a bunch, and I wasn't sure you could put it in a sort of beast, but I thought it made more sense here. But for at the very least the last couple of months, official US parks, mountains, and beaches, which have their own TikTok accounts, have been just going back and forth like meme fighting with each other. It's all extremely unserious and meant to be fun. They're really good at engaging with people's comments and like picking up on like people shitting on like Mount Rainier from the Mount Hood side and vice versa, and then Yosemite gets involved, and like it's so funny. This really picked up the most traction right around Valentine's Day because I think it was Yosemite, Mount Rainier, and Mount Hood were predominantly fighting over which of them as organizations had the highest body count on them, which they were actively encouraging. Like they were fighting with each other over trying to get people to come and bone on their property so that their body count could go up, as one does. Within these exchanges, which are just generally ongoing across all of these accounts, I've seen alliance courting for the upcoming park feud season, which is amazing. At least one case of romantic courting. I feel like Canyon Beach is like a baddie and people are really trying to get with her. Also, Mountain Helens seems to be bringing the boys to the yard. Mount Hood and Mount Rainier cannot stop having like a peak off where they try and show off how cool their peaks look. There is an active and continuing debate as to who has the best sunsets and sunrises. Dare I say slanderous accusations about kitten tacos being served at some locations, about seals being treated questionably. So the season is far from over. Lots to enjoy there if you enjoy frivolous nonsense, which I assume you do if you're here. And more importantly, as I'm sure you're aware, roughly 1,000 park and ranger employees, federal employees, were laid off in the last week or two. And this has already started to greatly affect every single one of these parks and beaches. Their statement on it was basically, we were already doing multiple jobs per person. So to cut it back this far, it's gonna have a huge impact. Obviously on things like cleanliness, accessibility, wait time, that kind of stuff, but most critically on safety. And unfortunately, because of that, this isn't a solution where your patronage alone is able to help, because the people who are left are barely able to keep things going to even the extent they're at right now. It's probably going to continue to decline because they can only do physically so much in a day. You may have seen a story from Yosemite recently where park rangers who had been let go in this mass layoff came and put up an upside down American flag on the side of a mountain in the park. They have since come out and publicly stated that this was their way of like raising an alarm, because not just do they want their jobs back, obviously, but they see this as a precursor to all of our parks and public access beaches, all of these places being privatized. In some cases sold, because the value and protection of that land is going to be stripped back over this administration. And based on what we've seen so far in quite literally like a month, I don't think that's unfounded. If you want to help out, watching their content probably helps them a good amount. Following them helps so that they can get monetized and get more eyes out there on this fun stuff. And again, it's fun to engage with. If you are in a position to be able to donate money beyond that and you're interested in doing that, the National Park Foundation is the official donation hub basically for all of the parks. And that said, it doesn't seem like one of their primary uses for the money is for legislative purposes on behalf of the park. I don't know a ton about that. It's just not coming up as one of their primary things. So if you are more interested in a political / activism type of support for just generally the welfare of parks, there is a subreddit. It's r/national parks where people are discussing some of those options. I found one post in a thread that I thought was very informative and had some good options. So I will put that up here. The big takeaways from this for me were, don't try and start something new. There are a lot of groups that already exist. So if you want to get involved, look for the easiest local group to be involved with. And that very well could be an indigenous group because they have been fighting this good fight for decades. But you know, if you don't have time, money, energy, all of that's fine. You can just go watch the parks duke it out over which one of them Taylor Swift likes the best.